Oh my God.
I am the law. What's up, buddy?
I can't even with you, dude. God, Gerald, be fucking quiet. It's late. God, some of us live in an apartment, Gerald. Oh, God.
How you been, buddy? What is up?
Man, look at you. Look at you. You're looking sexy as ever, man. Look at you. You look beautiful. What are you doing?
I literally just cut my hair for this tonight. You know, the COVID haircut, not so bad.
That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by the one, the only Super Movie Brother Dave. And, I mean, you guys did notice. He happened to sneak into the chat earlier. And don't think, Loisas, for a second, don't think that I don't notice.
If you vote for me,
that vote for Pedro shirt.
All of your wildest dreams will come true.
Don't think I don't notice, Loisas. But we're also joined by the God of Podcasting. Dave's here for 2 hours. And we're going to be doing some cocktails, which is going to be amazing. And we're also going to be doing some Podlywed game. That's what it is. I'm like, I don't know words anymore. Words have escaped me.
You're only 24 hours in. Remember when you used to do this for like 24 hours straight?
Oh my God.
Now it's become a 4-day event.
I wish. But man, oh God, that would be such an undertaking at this point. I'd need like a rotating panel of co-hosts, not, good ones like Dan, not like crappy ones like Gerald. Oh, I keep forgetting he's like right there on the other side of the table.
For this,
I can't. He's
10.
He's literally.
Hey,
right
if you didn't drive 10 hours to be abused,
you could have told me this. I could have stayed home.
Man, alive. So, Dave, I'm gonna grab a couple because we're doing movie cocktail first, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I actually got all my ingredients. I got it all set up here in my new bar set for everybody to check out. So I'm actually gonna make it live for everybody.
Makes me so happy right now. So I've got to grab. Dan already got most of our ingredients and everything out. I've just got to get. Dan, did you get ice and stuff out or no? I don't have a shaker glass, so I've got to make it up with that as I go. But that's okay. I do have bar glasses, so I can at least do that. But I already pre-made. I already posted to social media. If you guys follow the live stream for the Cure Epic Film Guys on social media, I already pre-made the majority of it, like the margarita portion, the tequila, the melon liqueur, the apple liqueur, and the hot sauce. And I made 2 variations of this at varying degrees of heat. So
nice. We like variation, Mm-hmm. We put a lot of time into making these cocktails, but in the end, we want everyone just to make them their own anyway, because we understand that not everybody's going to have, like the last one we did, we had elderberry liqueur or acai berry liqueur. Who's got that?
3 people.
There's only 3 people in the world. So, you could substitute that with raspberry liqueur, whatever your poison is, as long as it looks the same in the end and you like the way it tastes, who cares?
Who cares? All that matters. And let me tell you, I'm damn ready to have a margarita. So in the salt that I have, I actually ordered it a couple weeks ago online, but the salt that I have is a lime jalapeno margarita salt.
Look at you overachieving, man.
So,
look at us. The liquor stores in PA are still closed, so I have this Lord's melon liqueur that I had to get from a drive-through liquor store in Jersey. I was like, "Yeah, you guys got Midori?" And they're like, "What's that?" And I was like, "I just need a melon liqueur." And they handed me this, and I was like, "How much is that?" They're like $4.99, and I was like,
"It's okay." I had to buy some Mr. Boston. I had to buy some Mr. Boston melon liqueur because it's the only kind the liquor store had.
See? So I'm going to be making the real shitty version, this is the one where all the trailer park girls dance at. That's the one I'm making tonight. So,
I mean, it's muggy, maybe the short shorts have to come on. I don't know what's happening tonight. It's Mega City 1. It's dingy. It's dirty. You gotta whatever. I don't even know.
Yeah, that's right. We're doing this to celebrate Judge Dredd, man. Oh. All of Judge Dredd, though, not just. I know your love
the Carl Urban one.
For the 95 one or 96 one. I know your love for that one, but I have love for the 2012 Dredd. So
keep quiet, Loisas.
I know a word.
And the I don't know the 2000 AD comic. I'm a massive fan of the comic book as well. So I'm going to get started on making this, man.
I'm going to do so as well. So I'm going to have to step away from the camera because my ingredients are over there. But yeah, I will be. I'm going to turn the camera around. I'll turn it around and I'll workshop it in the background here.
Sure, absolutely.
All right. Here we go.
There we go.
Follow him.
All right, so let's get starting to mix this thing up. Pull up my ingredients because I don't remember them off the top of my head. That's just absolutely ludicrous. With over 60 cocktails that we've made, it's almost impossible to remember every single one off the top of your head.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the money.
All right, I'm going to start off here with 2 ounces of tequila.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry, Dave. They're telling me my coffee is ready.
We're going to drop that one in. And then we're going to go to 1 ounce of the sour apple liqueur. Decors. Of course, you can't have Judge Dredd without him being a little bit of a sour grump, so that's why we add the sour apple. Then we got 2 ounces of our melon liqueur. That's what's going to pop this color up and also mellow out those sour flavors of... There we go. All right, then I need an ounce of lime juice, which, funny enough, I forgot my lime juice. So, Nick, while you're doing yours, I'm going to go grab my lime juice.
Dave!
You close the chat again, Nick. I can't see the chat. Oh, well. Nick's station over here is intense, guys. A lot of screens.
All right. So I'm going to add in 1 ounce of lime juice. Now this is where it's going to get a little crazy. So Nick went a little bit overboard with his super spicy version. You can do as many dashes as you want of hot sauce. I'm being mild, so I'm using Frank's Red Hot because you can put that shit on anything.
Yes, you can.
And I'm doing 3 dashes because I liked it to be a little bit kicked up.
Hey, Dave, your boy Jay just dropped a donation.
Oh, thanks,
All right.
Jay. Appreciate it, bud. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, what amount, Gerald?
$20, Nicholas. $20 US.
The fuck?
Thank you, Jay.
20 of them U.S. ducats. Hey, Jay, I just want to let you know, someone last night, Caleb from Netflix and Swell, dropped their entire Trump ducats into the bucket. I'm just saying. I'm not saying you have to do that, Jay. I'm just saying, someone did that. A co-host on another show did that. So you want to really represent us, I don't mean to put you on the spot or nothing.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
Nick says fair point.
And I made the tragic mistake that you can make when you're doing a margarita. I did not put the glass in the salt first.
Mm.
So now I got to do this ridiculous dance here. I don't like a whole lot of salt on there, so that's fine by me.
Another $10 from Jared. Thank you.
Ooh.
He is the
Thank you,
man.
Jared.
And then to finish this off,
Ooh, this one's going to be mine, I guess, because that's a lot of salt. Shit.
we're just going to drop some of that maraschino cherry juice or grenadine, whichever you want to use, into there.
So I bought,
Now just imagine
so Dave,
that this glass
Dave,
beautiful.
I got this. So I got this juice called Cherry Bundy Tart Cherry Juice.
Okay.
So that's what I ended up getting.
And how does that work out? What does it?
Well, I have no idea yet. We'll find out. All right, here comes the fun part. I don't have any barware aside from this cup. So I need a shaker. I don't have a shaker anymore since the wife pieced out. Less than I thought it was going to be. I guess I'm making 3, so I guess it makes sense that I need more. I got this.
As many as you can handle. The more margaritas, the better the Podly Wed game will be. I just want to remind you.
I believe that's 100% true.
Loy Sauce, are you drinking anything this evening?
Not currently,
No.
but I might have to scrounge for something.
Get my bar towel out, clean this mess up.
I don't want to be the only one not drinking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You gotta grab something, brother.
Allow me to do that, and I'll be back.
I could bring you one of these margaritas, but it'd take me like 6 hours.
I appreciate the thought. It's very kind.
Absolutely. Grab something, man. Let's cheers it.
They look delicious.
Okay, I made a disastrous mess out here because I had no water.
So did I, dude.
Cup, so I'm like literally holding my hand on top of the cup and like I'm spilling it everywhere because I don't have like a nicely pouring glass.
I mean, like today, just today, my wife broke my margarita glass. So that is why I just have like a plain old tumbler here. So.
All right, Dave. I think Jay is feeling the pressure. He just dropped another $20 donation.
Thanks, Jay. But you're just way too kind. He's representing.
Okay, so Dave, mine didn't settle to the bottom, so it just kind of mixed in and made this muddy orange kind of color. But
Yeah, you just kind of like drizzle it on there real slow, and it'll settle. It'll settle at the bottom, give you that nice juxtaposition look here with the red and then the green and stuff. Because in the comic books, Dredd, his costume is actually red and green and black. So.
Is this a cocktail you concocted yourself, Dave? You came up with
Yeah, all the cocktails we do on Movie Cocktail are either myself or Jay or Mark, any one of us who is assigned to that
these
movie
margaritas are ready.
comes up with the cocktail for it. So
I'm about to
I think
taste
this
it,
is-
but it looks freaking delicious.
yeah, we have like I think it's close to like 60 by now
Nice.
of movie cocktails.
Yeah, I think I probably poured that in there too fast, Dave. I think that's what I did.
It settles at the bottom when you pour it slow, but honestly, it's gonna taste exactly the same.
Yeah, I was going to say flavor-wise, it's going to be good. You didn't get any on the MacBook there, did you?
What's that?
I'm joking with you.
What the fuck are you on about?
You good?
You gotta be mouthy with me all the time, motherfucker.
That's
huh?
all you do to me. I'm trying to get you back.
I'm gonna whip your ass right now.
Wait till we're on camera.
So I'm gonna wait until my my esteemed executive producer's here. Grab a margarita. But let me flip you back around here, Dave. Let me bring you back around.
Hey,
What's up,
there it
buddy?
is.
Yeah. So this is kind of final. I mean, you know what? My cherry juice, believe it or not, is settling on the top.
It's setting on the top. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so the grenadine for me like sank right to the bottom. I've already drank
because
just
yours
about
is
all
just-
of mine.
Yours is just hot, like got way more sugar in it. Dan, we're waiting on you. Loy sauce. What did you get to booze yourself up with there?
It's a black cherry hard cider.
I mean, it's still booze, right?
Yeah, it is that. My God, look at me. Look at how much I'm sweating. I got the studio lights on. It just gets so hot under here.
You're a beautiful, beautiful man.
Muggy as all get out.
Here comes the money.
Maybe we should all take our shirts off.
No.
We have a donation from Drew Hallam from the Real Feels Podcast. $10 donation. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you, Drew.
Thank you so much. Dan, we're waiting on you.
Oh, you're waiting on me?
Yes.
Taste the margaritas.
I want to see if anyone in the chat wants to go out and make one of these for themselves.
I know I do.
It's
So
the
cheers,
best
boys.
part about it is there's
My-
it's
EPs.
practically all alcohol. There's
My
almost
EPs.
like there's a little bit of lime juice in there, but
My
really
EPs.
it's
Start having me, boys.
tequila, melon
Cheers,
liqueur,
boys.
sour apple liqueur, and grenadine. So it's all alcohol.
Dave, Loy Sauce, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
What is it? What is Loy sauce at?
Black cherry cider.
Ooh, look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants.
My goodness gracious.
It's delicious.
Oh, and I never said it, but the name of this cocktail is the I Am the Law Recycled Rita.
Of course it is.
Because this actually was a quarantine cocktail. So I came up with it because these are ingredients that I had sitting around my house when I couldn't go out and buy liquor. So I just kind of like came up with this because I knew we were going to be talking about Judge Dredd and recycled because eat recycled food. It's good for the environment and okay for you. There it is. There's all the ingredients right there.
Right up there in the chat there. That's the drink we just made. That's what Dave sent to me. And, this is, so again, I made two versions. So Sticker Mule does a hot sauce, believe it or not. If you're a Sticker Mule fan, I'm a huge Sticker Mule fan, but they do a hot sauce, called Mule Sauce. So this version that I'm drinking right now of this, I made it with mule sauce. I did, however, ladies and gentlemen, make another version, and that one I made with black garlic Carolina Reaper hot sauce. That one's got a little bit of a bite to it.
You're gonna feel that one in the morning. Like mine just gives a little bit of tingle on the lips. With the Frank's Red Hots, nothing overwhelming, but it does add an extra layer to the flavors. What you're talking about is a 5-alarm emergency. At
mine's
5
like
a.m.
an ABC robot punched you in the mouth. That's what mine's like.
That's
that's a great cocktail, Dave.
Take this DNA sample. God, isn't Armando Santi just great in Judge Dredd?
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, from the Shaken Not Nerd podcast itself, Mr. Duty Dutrum.
Duty.
I'm guessing that's $10 Australian, so $6.64 over in the chat. Unless he just intended to do that, because Duty might have just intended to do that. That might just be Duty. I don't know. But thank you so much, Duty. Thank you. You are absolutely amazing. Everybody that has donated, guys, we're almost at $4,500, 45% of the way. It's absolutely amazing. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Let's see if Armando Sante himself can get it to an even 5 while we're here doing this.
If anyone can.
Game.
Speaking of which, is Justin in the chat? Justin knows he has to be in here for the Podlywed game, right? I did tell him specifically that he had to be on for the Podlywed game.
Yeah, co-hosts kind of have to be there unless Loisos is going to be answering for him. He might be able to.
That would be
his daddy.
Glorious.
So.
Yeah, Justin is his daddy. That's true.
Justin is his daddy, so daddy's going to get the belt now.
You're not my dad.
His lips didn't even move. You're that good of a ventriloquist, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're good, Loisos.
Thank you.
Do it while he's drinking the beer. That's the mark of a true ventriloquist.
See,
if they can do it when they're drinking.
Dave, all I got is this for you, man.
Bitches can't get enough of my stuff.
Look at him. Look at him. Ooh, now you know what? I'm getting a little bit of that burn from that mule sauce. It's not too much. I got a little bit of salt on my lip. Does that look weird? No? 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 Okay. I'm here for it. I'm good. But Dave, my brother, first of all, cheers to you for this amazing cocktail. Cheers to you for being here for Livestream for the Cure. Not for 1, but for 2 hours. We're closing out tonight's show with you. We're going to do a little something with Gerald at some point, probably at the end of the evening.
Not only are we helping cancer research by doing this, and people are donating and stuff like that, we're going to help me lose a little bit of weight because I'm going to sweat about 10 pounds while doing this. It is so hot in here.
You just let it soak, man.
Just watch it. Just watch it melt away. So, Nick, do you want to know? Do you know what the first Judge Dredd movie was? There's obviously the '95 Judge Dredd, but did you know that that's not actually the first Judge Dredd movie?
Enlighten me, David.
RoboCop is the first Judge Dredd movie.
For all intents and purposes, yeah.
It is. The creator of Judge Dredd, John Wagner, they have been shopping Judge Dredd around for years to different studios, and lo and behold, RoboCop comes out, and John Wagner stands up in the theater and goes, That's my they took everything we did in RoboCop, and I'm sorry, in Judge Dredd, and they put it into RoboCop. Obviously, it's not copyright infringement. Completely different character, completely different world. But everything that is Judge Dredd in the 2000 AD comics is RoboCop in that first movie. And that is why for years they couldn't get a Judge Dredd film made, because any film that they made would have been so similar to RoboCop, which is why you wound up getting such a different film in 1995 with Sylvester Stallone, and it's a little bit cheesy, it's a little bit fantastical. I know you love it. You love it. I love
just saying,
it's nostalgic.
We just hit $4,500. The cinema guys, Brad from the cinema guys, just came in there and knocked a donation in there to push us to $4,500. What was it? $13.36. He had to even it out because Duty and Australian money messed it up.
Duty and those Australian ducats.
32B, Bignell Road, Moorabbin. Sorry.
But so that's like some of the, like when I started researching like that original movie, and I started
I never knew that. Of
it.
course, I haven't seen RoboCop in ages.
Oh, it is exactly what the first Judge Dredd movie should have been, and obviously something that the 2012 movie was emulating for sure.
Then we just got something even better. No? Yes? No?
No.
Loy sauce, you need a big plate of recycled food right now. That's what you need in front of you.
One of the fun things about like Judge Dredd that like cracked me up reading and like the facts is like they took such care to take care of Sylvester Stallone during the filming of it. During that scene where they're escaping the tunnel and the fire is blasting out and stuff like that. All along his back, Sylvester Stallone had this fire retardant gel that wouldn't allow him to catch fire and stuff like that. It was on his face as well, stopped him from catching on fire. Rob Schneider had none. He caught on fire, got second-degree burns along his back and the back of his neck. They did nothing to take care of Rob Schneider. And the only reason Rob Schneider got the job was because Sylvester Stallone remembered him from Demolition Man and brought him on board.
Nick, have you seen Demolition Man?
An eternity ago.
Okay.
Well, you have to watch Demolition Man, make this margarita, and eat Taco Bell.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Is that the one? That's the one with the seashells too, right?
Yes, the 3 seashells. Yes.
Listen, I don't understand why it's so complicated. Like Paul and Wayne had this discussion recently on the count. Why is it so complicated? You just shove the seashell into your ass and scoop. Like it's very clear what it's for. I don't understand why there's this debate about what the seashell is for.
But it takes 3 of them though, so there's a system.
Well, you've got to clean up seashells too. Like obviously.
Well, I think the first one's like to scoop the heavy.
Exactly.
The next
one's
the
bulk. Sometimes you got a half a log broken off in there. You got to get the rest of it out, and then you got a couple clean up seashells afterward.
Or you use 2 seashells to kind of spread your sphincter, so you can use the third to scoop out the.
That's also true. You can just gape it out and just let everything fall out.
Yeah. Look, what you just described was you using 3 hands, one hand on one seashell, one hand on another to spread your sphincter, and then a third one to scoop it out.
Yeah, the third hand is Justin's.
You could hold 2 seashells in one hand.
See, but now this gets into like the chopsticks. What are you using? Like chopsticks? You're like,
yeah.
Is there like a special 3 seashells mitt that's going to go on that helps you spread the asshole?
I'm so happy with this rabbit hole. I'm all here for it. I love it so much.
I mean, if the Chinese can do it, then so can we.
Sure.
Perfect.
We should all be squatting when we poo. That's the way to do it. It's the way to do it.
It really is. That's how you avoid the hemorrhoids.
It's true. So
anyway,
while we're here, so Danny Cannon, the director of the 95 Dredd, he had a miserable time making that movie. Him and Sylvester Stallone absolutely hated each other. And Sylvester Stallone held such clout because, let's face it, that movie was about having a star on it more so than it was about being any type of love letter to a character or anything like that. It was more about having that star in it. So Sylvester Stallone actually made Danny Cannon leave. The studio allowed him to tell Danny Cannon to leave during the final days of filming.
Man.
And they brought in a DP to kind of like finish everything else up. And the DP just kind of did everything that Stallone said. When the studio told him that he was supposed to keep his helmet on, they're like, yeah, we're not paying Sylvester Stallone to keep his helmet on. So it's Stallone. Come on. So there's a lot of things that went into making that movie the what it was. And John Wagner, the creator, the writer behind Judge Dredd, absolutely hated it. He absolutely hated it and refused to ever sell the character out again until Alex Garland, obviously an Englishman himself, where 2000 AD Comics comes from, came to him with his script, showed it to him, explained to him what he wanted to do with it. And then they wound up making that movie, which interestingly enough, that director left in the middle of making it, and it wound up being ghost directed by Alex Garland, which is so technically Dredd 3D is the first full-length feature film that Alex Garland directed.
And we are getting so much Judge Dredd love over in the chat right now. It's just crazy. Let's see. Patrick Sherwood is asking for top 5 Judge Dredd quotes. Man.
Oh, I got it. I am the law. I am the law. I am the law. I am the law.
Say that.
I am the law. Top 5. There we go.
No, I already said. I mean, I knew
your
you'd
honorable
say that.
mentions.
Yeah.
I knew you'd say that. What are you doing down there, Judge Hershey? Like, that one. The law never makes mistakes.
Even better than that, Armando Santes. Law.
No, not long enough, Dave. Do it again for the proper length of time.
Law.
That's more.
There we
it's
go.
Closer. It's more appropriate. More appropriate. Let's see. We've got cursed earth scumbags.
Max von Sydow was in this movie. Do you know that?
Let's see. Julio from the Contrarians just donated $10. He said, "Next seashells story."
Thank you, Julio.
Next seashell story.
Beard and Butterroll says feelings on Rob Schneider and the spaghetti robot.
Oh yeah,
We're drinking a recycled Rita, so makes sense.
That's the recycled Rita comes from the that comes from that scene. It was the one scene that I thought I remember thinking about it as a kid. We're like, eat recycled food. It's good for the environment, not bad for you. And I was like, recycled food. Oh, they're eating shit. So 9-year-old me just started cracking up, and I was like, they're eating poo. Called the shit poop.
Oh my god. But listen, Dave, it's okay for them. It's fine.
It's fine.
Also, those shells have only a 200 meter lethal range, so what are you doing down there, Judge Hershey?
Wait, you're back up.
Wait, it's these blocks are under arrest. I can't. Yeah, it's too late, so I can't make noise. But
another great quote. Yeah, my wife's sleeping behind me. She's got work tomorrow. But another great quote is, the computer, take this DNA sample.
I love it. Can you bring me the margarita making accoutrement? I just totally added a lot of fluff to that word. I apologize deeply, ladies and gentlemen in the audience. No, I want the other margarita.
This one.
The other juice.
That is different than that one.
That is. So I'm gonna have the big spicy boy here. And look at that. You see that, Dave? That's that real lime pulp in the bottom there, because I squeezed real limes for this and everything. I did hard labor for you.
Look at that. The voice you were hearing is Richard Kiley. We spared no expense.
Can I have that cherry juice over there too, Jerome?
Well, while you're there doing that, I'm going to mix up another one.
Please do, my friend. Please.
Because I drank mine so fast. But I'm going to do it correctly this time. And instead of, foolishly not rimming my glass before pouring everything into it.
See, I'm just going to... Sometimes I like it with the salt. Sometimes I like it without. This time I'm going to go without. Although this time is with the far spicier hot sauce, so it'd probably be wiser to rim it with the salt, so that way it has a little bit of a mixture of flavors in there.
Yeah, or you can also add a little bit of lemon juice, which will help cut down on that spiciness. It'll help cut it out a little bit, or add more of your cherry juice.
Yeah, this stuff, I just saw this stuff, and I wanted to get something that was going to be a decent, low sugar, kind of replacement for like a maraschino cherry juice or like a grenadine or something. But
I get it.
This is light cherry juice, and it still has 18 grams of added, or 18 grams of sugar, I should say, per container. But the whole container is the serving, like this whole thing. So
I get it. You wanted to be better. You wanted to be better than me. No, I get it. You wanted to show me up. That's fine.
If Winners comes in here, and catches me drinking like grenadine, he'll come.
He's gonna freak out.
He will fly to New York and he will whip me.
I know. I've done a lot of work to cut out sugar, but I do like, and like me and Jay have talked about in the show, like I've cut out sugar from my life for the most part. But like when I do the podcast once a week, so. That's my day for sugar. I have a beer when I do the podcast. I drink too. Is just when I do the podcast. Now, are you still doing? You were doing vegetarian last time I knew, right? I'm still vegan. No.
Oh yeah. Okay. Nice. Very very nice.
Yeah. I mean, me and you were talking a little bit while you were on the air yesterday, but like you look fantastic. Number one,
dude. You look fantastic, my friend. You look great.
Super jealous because like I think I've maybe lost like 15 or 20 pounds doing this, but like not anywhere near the gains that you've gotten. So.
I had a lot to lose, Dave, and I still have a lot more to lose.
I got miles to go before I sleep, butterfly.
Exactly. You're looking like your face, especially your face, is looking a lot slimmer, a lot trimmer.
It's because I trimmed the beard today.
Is that what it is?
before it was like this, a great big bushy beard. There you go, Duty. I dropped your Hot Fuzz reference for you. All right, let me go. I have to go grab some lime juice again. Give me 2 seconds.
Let's see. Shorty009, Dave, top 5 least favorite things about your co-host. Only 5? Is he only going to be able to name 5 about Jay? I don't even know. He's got to have more than that. We're going to be sitting here for the next hour waiting for him to try to figure out which ones he's going to pick. Oh. All right, so this is the spicier one that I'm trying now.
All right.
See, I like it just as well, I think. And you know what? The good thing is this cherry juice is like a tart cherry juice. So this plays around with, your sour elements and like those sweeter elements of the liqueur. And then it adds like a tartness on top of it because of that cherry juice whereas you're probably getting more of a sweetness because of the grenadine. So it's an interesting juxtaposition. And then like now my throat is just now getting the burn from that Carolina Reaper hot sauce.
So I like the sweetness of it because, I mean, even tequila itself is a little bit sour, and then you add in the other sour elements. So it starts off very sour, very salty, and then like it kind of mellows itself out through the end, but still keeps that little bit of a salty sweetness because you have the hot sauce mixed in with it.
Yeah. Ooh, man, that Reaper hot sauce is so good. Ooh, man, that stuff is good. Oh, that stuff is absolutely delicious. Dan, if you when you're done, when you want another round, try the one with the Reaper sauce instead.
Oh, we'll try it.
Because oh man, but yeah, you feel it like right in your throat, like right when you swallow, you get the sour of the lime, and then all of a sudden it's as if you were drinking like burning lime or like lime hot sauce.
It hits your lips. It tastes so good.
Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank.
So I meant to tell you the glasses that I was wearing to Judge Dredd. I made those today.
Did you really?
Because I was hoping that the camera would freeze like it did on me last year for the Batman one.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, I still remember, like, man, your connection, you know what? Nothing for nothing, but your connection is rock solid. Usually whenever you have Dave on a live anything, it's kind of a slideshow. Like, yeah,
that's because I was using like this real crappy, like 5-year-old, this 5-year-old laptop. It was a Lenovo, so it was fine, but it was like a low end model. I think I paid $500 for 2 of them. So it was a cheap laptop. But now I just upgraded to a gaming laptop so I could have faster speeds while I was editing video and editing audio and stuff like that. And it's just miles better.
Yeah.
So
that's, oh man. I mean, you could tell, like, it's like I said, you look great, and maybe, you know what? It's probably just the sharper resolution, but
probably, yeah. It's that 4K resolution, that 1080p coming at you.
God damn it.
Haven't lost any LBs, but
he's not even in here. Don't say things like 4K or things like that, or you're going to summon him. Like all of a sudden, he's going to like his ears are going to tweak and perk up, and he's going to just drop in here.
He will appear.
Oh, God. I know,
and we don't even have to mention his name because everyone already knows.
I love Paul from the Countdown Podcast because he's a resolution whore himself.
That son of a bitch. Paul, speaking of which, Paul from the Countdown, ladies and gentlemen, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but tomorrow, 3 straight hours of Paul. So you're going to want to probably smack him straight in the cock by the time that's all over. But we're going to
grab your pillow, handle it.
Grab your pillow because he has such a soothing voice. You may fall asleep. He is the white Morgan Freeman.
He's an amazing
pretty
man.
sure.
We absolutely love him. We got a question in the chat, Dave, and so here, I'm going to throw this at you. I love how little this is about Judge Dredd so far, but I'm 100% here for it. Shorty...
I tried to make it about Judge Dredd, okay?
We got other stuff 009. Is that Jay? I feel like that's Dave. Dave. I feel like that's Jay. I feel like that's Jay.
Yeah, if it's 009, that's Jay.
Okay, so he wants to know...
I'm pretty sure number 9 is tattooed on him somewhere.
He wants to know 5 least favorite things about your co-host.
Buddy, I can't answer that because you and I are doing Podly Wed together, so we're going to get someone else to be our host for Podly Wed game. We're going to do, I believe it's 5 different Podly Wed games, and then from that we're going to pick a host to do me and Jay. So I'm not going to answer that right now, Jay. Sorry.
You got to wait, Jay.
But the first one is like I say you say we all say but it matters how you say right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you say and then you just keep talking, it goes by and it's done and it's over. But when you
I call that a Justin. I call that a Justin.
I call that a Jay. I call that a Jay. So.
He's watching right now, isn't he? He's here. I feel his presence somewhere.
No, he might be in the chat. He's not allowed in my house. My wife takes lockdown very seriously, and she's very much enjoying her time without Jay.
Yeah, she's been begging for a pandemic to come along so she could find a reason to ban Jay from the house.
To ban Jay from the house. And then one other thing I'll say that Jay does that very much this pleases me when I'm editing. It's the lip smack. It's the goddamn mouth noises, you know? Yeah, all those.
I mean, that's just Loisos mouth noises, which sound like ecstasy to all of us. So,
all right. So there you go. I made another one. Looks just as pretty. I was
mine
cutting,
does not look the same color, and my lighting is really weird. So that kind of looks like sewer water.
It looks like shit. It looks like recycled food.
It really does.
So I actually, while mixing this up, while I was cutting out the cardboard for that mask that I made, I sliced my hand up because I was using an X-Acto knife without a handle. I was just kind of but not bad, but just tiny little cuts. But when you're dealing with salt and lime juice and sour apple and hot sauce,
yep,
you're suddenly reminded that it's there.
Yeah, I did that. I think that was when I was actually squeezing the limes to pre-make the cocktails. I'm pretty sure I had the same thing. It was right here on this finger. I think I had a little cut right near my fingernail or something like that, and I squeezed one of those limes, and the juice just went right over the top of my finger. I was just like, ooh,
it's just the worst.
Oh,
so I don't know whether Dredd's done. We got the fantastic movie Dredd 3D and stuff. Because wasn't there Mega City 1 coming out? Does anyone in the chat know anything about Mega City 1? Is that thing still happening? Does anyone know any news on that? Because I heard that and I was so excited. It was going to follow other judges, but maybe have Judge Dredd from time to time.
I
think the last we've heard of that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's been so long. I was so excited for something like that. I will say I do love the world.
And I think that's probably my biggest disappointment. And say what you will about the 95 Dredd or the 2012 Dredd, and we can obviously split a lot of that kind of stuff open, but it disappoints me so much because it is a fascinating world. I love the idea of the cursed earth and the people crammed into these giant mega cities and the breakdown of the normal justice system. And the rise of the Hall of Justice and the judges and all. I love that kind of thing, and I'd love to get more of an exploration of that world. I think that's one of the reasons I'm more harsh on the 2012 film than I am on the 95 film, because at least you get more.
Because there is no world, right?
Yeah, there's no world. It's literally just, here's this building they're in. And
made on a budget too,
And that's the crappy thing about it is it was a passion project, and you can feel the passion in it, and that's one of the things I respect about it the most is you can really feel the passion in it, and you can tell that they really wanted to make a great Judge Dredd film. I think they made a good action film, but I feel like it's like it could be like that could be like almost like an anthology and like a Mega City One series almost,
Right.
if you were just like random stories of judges out on the beat or whatever.
That could be like the way I saw that movie was this is a Judge Dredd one-shot comic, right? It's not a big overarching story or anything like that. It's a Dredd one-shot. It's a weekly story. It'll wrap up by the end of this week. And it's simple. It's A to B, get it done. But what it did do is it really did the character justice. Yeah. So that was the nice part about it, where while the original one in 95, that may have done some world justice, I guess you could say, because it did give you that build world. It gave you the cursed earth, and it gave you cannibals out in the desert trying to eat people.
Cursed earth scumbags.
It gives you that stuff, and that stuff's all fun, and that stuff's all in the Dredd comic, and the Dredd comic does get outlandish at times. I mean, one of his big villains is Judge Death, who is a judge from another dimension who deems all life a crime. So he comes into their dimension to kill them. So, I mean, it does get ridiculous and it does get outlandish. So the 95 Dredd doesn't do anything wrong in doing that stuff. And I do think you're right that like after seeing that, you would like to see Dredd 3D, that movie be expanded upon. And that movie, unfortunately, just didn't do well because it had the unfortunate title of Dredd 3D, which gives you two things when you look at it. It makes you think like, oh, this is a sequel to that awful Sylvester Stallone one from back in the day, number one. And then it makes you go, wait, there was a second one? Because this is 3D.
And then, I mean, so you're also talking about, like, this was, 2012? So you're talking 3 years after Avatar. So
right.
Already, I think, at least by this point, like, people were already tired of the 3D gimmick. And I gotta tell you,
the movies that came out before, because I actually wrote an article on this that was on IGN, that the movies that preceded this were My Bloody Valentine 3D, Shark Night 3D. Like those are the movies that were coming out right around Dredd 3D coming out.
Yeah.
So everybody looked at it and they were like, God, just another 3D movie. And even worse off, it's a sequel to that one with Sylvester Stallone that we don't like because it's not streaming on HBO. Now that it's on HBO, everyone's watching it and they're talking about how nostalgic they are for it. And I've watched it several times. I've always loved it.
Well, Sauce, you were gonna pump in there.
I was just gonna say, Dave, careful what you say because My Bloody Valentine 3D is amazing.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I love it too.
See, I just
not a fan.
Like I've never seen it, but because
the only thing I've ever liked Jensen Ackles in is when he plays Red Hood in Under the Red Hood. That's the only thing I've ever liked Jensen Ackles in.
There you go.
You don't watch My Bloody Valentine 3D for the acting.
Dave.
I've also never seen that movie in 3D. So.
Well, yeah, that could be a part of it too.
Liberty Dude 1775 donating $10. Toast to the mods. So toast to my amazing mod team out there. You guys will be in the end credits roll at the end of the day. You guys know who you are. I've seen you guys bumping around over there in the chat. Literally all night. Endless amounts of love. Just for setting aside your time to be here alone is absolutely amazing.
All night long.
Cheers to our mods. And that's 4520, guys. We are pushing our way toward the top of the hill, guys. We're almost at the top of the hill, and we can start that backslide.
I want to get the 5K. I want to get it. But before midnight tonight, I want to get the 5K.
How many times do I have to say I love Judge Dredd 95 before you guys donate enough to get there? How many more times?
How many more times?
Or do I have to say it less? Tell me what you want, chat.
I am the law.
I just I think that that's one of those things is like, Avatar did 3D and then literally you started that craze, what you're talking about, My Bloody Valentine and all those kinds of movies were 3D. And the thing I hate about 3D the most is 3D that is used, and I can't speak for GA opinions on this necessarily, but for me, and even rewatching it when I rewatched it for this, it's that 3D, throw stuff at the screen, make stuff pop out at you kind of 3D. I hate it.
That's why, because that's what makes 3D entertaining to watch. Otherwise, it's just
dumb.
No, I disagree. If you're going to do a movie in 3D, it's got to be gimmicky.
No, I
Otherwise,
disagree
go
because
home.
I loved the 3D in Avatar because all that was done with it was just used to create a depth in the screen to just immerse you in the world. Like you're standing in a field with blue people and there's like this blue snow shit falling around you. Like all it was done atmospherically to just kind of put you in the world.
I agree the 3D in Avatar is amazing, and it can be used to create an immersion, certainly. But when I go see a schlocky action movie, or when I go see a horror movie, a slasher movie that's in 3D, I want to see boobs. I want to see eyeballs popping out. That's what I want. That's what I go and pay my admission to see. Of course, we don't get as many of those.
Now,
but when we saw Piranha, I saw Piranha 3D in the theater, and you saw Jerry O'Connell's severed dick. It's like float closer and closer to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see.
I'd be there for that. I would want to be there for that.
Also, the movie that closes out Matt Hooper's story, because he's Richard Dreyfuss has gone on the record to say that is Matt Hooper.
The natural progression.
The natural progression of that character. I think like if something like Crank 2, High Voltage was in 3D, I'd probably applaud that. Like I'd probably love that movie in 3D just to watch him, banging Amy Smart in front of the bus full of kids, and they're all snapping pictures. Seeing that in 3D, yes, please.
Nick, have you seen the Crank movies?
I've not. No.
Oh man,
you're missing out. You're missing out on the best Statham that can Statham out there.
Listen, I'm immersed so deep in hashtag canon quarantine. Like I later guys, we'll get to all this other stuff I haven't watched later. We've still got so many more canon movies to go before. I mean, I still haven't seen the sequel to King's
canon right now.
Well, 8 weeks now. Like 8 weeks we've been doing hashtag canon quarantine.
Yep.
And it's been a mix of highs like Ninja 3: The Domination, which is literally fucking incredible. Death Wish 3, which we just talked about today. Today's episode was Death Wish 3, and then you have the other, like the flip side, like King Solomon's Mines, which made me want to put a gun in my mouth. It's
Gollum and Golobus like really did like walk this fine line of like genius and insanity. Like first off, they lived a true American dream type story. Like where coming from Israel, coming over here, making the films that they did, making them the way that they did is absolutely insane. They completely thumbed their nose at the filmmaking system. And then on top of that, they just made so much ridiculous trash on top of that. But they occasionally struck gold, which was amazing as well. But they weren't afraid to pick up a series, a floundering series.
Yo, Tony from Take Two, my brother, thank you so much for that $10 donation over there, supporting his boy Dave. Thank you so much, Tony. You know we love you, brother. We know we love you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
He was
Tony.
one of he's my favorite co-host. He co-hosted with me for our Clone Wars series finale discussion, and it was way better than Jay. It just flowed better. We just had a better relationship.
Good God, like so much better. It's like every time I do a podcast without Justin, it's like, oh my God, this is what it's really like. This is what dreams are made of here.
This is what entertaining people sounds
Justin
like.
Comes
I never
back
knew.
And it's like, oh God,
I never knew.
It's gonna say fucking Dolby Vision again. God damn it.
Hold on. Jay's texting me. He's probably asking me to lay off a little bit. He's probably having a hard time. He said, "Don't worry, I look great, sweaty and everything."
I know he's over here in the chat. I keep seeing his name pop up over here in the chat.
He says I'm too small on the screen.
Don't you
know
dare!
I'm sweaty.
Don't you dare! He's over here in the chat encouraging Justin. Out. He's trying to call Justin out, like bring him out by he's putting Dolby.
Was he trying to call the Homestead out?
Jesus fucking Christ!
Hey, Nick, when you mentioned Mr. Boston earlier, I thought I heard in the distance.
See, I can't say Mr. Boston like normally anymore. If I talk about like whenever I have to buy, like I said, that was the only type of melon liqueur they had. So whenever I have to buy some Mr. Boston, I have to say it like Justin does as the hostster because it's just ingrained in my brain. One of these days, I'm just going to go into the liquor store and be like, "You have any Mr. Boston?"
All right, now we're breaking out the beer. Hopefully Justin Winters isn't in the chat to yell at me for it.
Is it tree beer, Dave? You know better.
It is tree beer. It is Southern Tier Brewing Company Live Session Pale Ale.
That's not too tree-ish, though. He would drink that.
It is a
be
tree.
fine.
It's slightly hopped.
He'd probably cry about it a little bit, but he'd still drink it.
Hey, we got 9 minutes before Podlywed game is going to start. So where's Justin? Where is he?
Justin, get your ass up in here. But
can you fill me in as to what the Podlywed game? Well, I guess we'll get to it.
It's
but
the
I'm
newlywed
curious.
game, Lois.
Yeah, I'll do a brief explanation for it for sure.
But yeah, we've got. So you know what I want to say. I would like to do this, Dave. I would like to do this about Dredd, about both Dredd movies, because it's impossible not to compare the two. I feel. I mean,
it is. It's impossible, right? Because it's the same subject matter.
Here's a pitch that I'm going to pitch out to. We'll pitch it out to the whole panel here. We'll pitch it out to everybody, and you can explain just a little bit, or you can just leave your answer out there.
Into the Spider-Verse, but with Dredd. I'm down. You get Carl Urban. You get Stallone. I'm down.
I kind of want to make out with you right now, Dave. But so in terms of like, there's reasons why I love the 95 Dredd. There's reasons why I respect, but ultimately, like, I probably landed like a 5 out of 10 on the 2012 Dredd. And you know what the only reason is because of the fucking slow motion. I just hate it. I hate it so fucking much.
If you saw that in 3D though, like what Lois was talking about, like,
care more.
using
Actually,
it to like good effect.
Did I see it in the theater in 3D? I can't remember if I did.
I saw it in the theater in 3D, and
I know I saw it in the theater, but I don't remember if I saw 3D.
It was worth it.
But so what I want to do here is it's like just an A and B. Which movie do you prefer? So in terms of, say, the production design.
So I am an Alex Garland whore boy. So I'm going to go with Dredd 3D. I'm going to go with Dredd 2012 because I absolutely love Alex Garland. I pretty much love everything he's done. I don't love everything he's written. I'm not a big fan of Danny Boyle's The Beach, but I really do love Sunshine. You know, he was the writer behind that. He's the writer behind Dredd 3D and the Ghost Director. And then Ex Machina was one of my favorite films in 2015.
So good. Ooh.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you want to talk about the best use of subtle special effects. It's amazing.
$70 donation in here from our good friends at the Knicks Cast. That movie trivia game, guys, was absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much. Guys,
thank you.
$400 until we hit the top of the mountain, until we're halfway there. $4,600 in the chat. Guys, blow it up. Thank you very much to the Knicks Cast. You guys are absolutely amazing. What did you know what? I know I must have heard or must have talked to you at one point about Annihilation.
Yeah.
But where were you on Annihilation, Dave?
Paul from the Countdown Pod actually did our review with us. So
That's
it was a
right.
great time. I loved it. I don't think I liked it as much as Ex Machina. I don't think it was as nuanced as that was, but I really enjoyed it. I love the layers. I've watched it probably about 10 times at this point.
Wow.
And I pick up something new like every time, but I think I was a A- on it when I saw it. So, like Ex Machina would be a straight A. So, slightly less than that. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed Annihilation. I thought the female cast was phenomenal.
Female cast in that movie is excellent. Absolutely excellent. The only thing I say to make Annihilation a perfect movie, cut out the fucking future bit. Cut out the bit where she's sitting in a room talking to the dude, where they keep cutting back to it. Just let the story unfold on its own.
I agree. I think that was one of my issues with it as well. I've heard some people complain about the cheating storyline, but I actually think the cheating storyline is
hide the beer. He's here. He's in the chat.
Okay.
Hide it. Don't let him see it. Don't let him see it.
Mr. Winters, I wasn't drinking a beer. I was drinking a beer.
He's here, ladies and gentlemen. But so in terms of production design was the original question. So you're picking 2012.
I'll pick in 2012, man.
Okay.
As far as like those far off shots of like what Mega City 1 looked like, but just the giant Mega City blocks and stuff like that around, I loved it. I loved the drones flying overhead. I loved the look of like these like makeshift motorcycles that they were using and stuff like that. Old beat up Pintos driving around with machine guns mounted in them. I liked it. I like that. That's what I think of when I think of Cursed Earth. Mad Max-esque shit.
Justin Winter says, who gave Dave 2 hours?
Justin, I talked to the Peanut Juice people. and they promised me that they were going to donate some money. And they're like, are you staying kosher? And I was like, of course I'm staying kosher, Mr. Peanut Shoes.
Jesus, God in heaven. So Gerald, real quick, man, what do you production design alone, 2012 or 1995? What do you think?
95. I'm just a classic guy, man.
Man, all right, Saucy.
Well, if we're talking about strictly production design, I guess I'm going to have to go with the 95 version, just because it felt like a more expansive world. Whereas the 2012 Dredd, for budgetary reasons, and also I think because of them kind of wanting to do a one-shot story in the first film before they open it up in further sequels, which they hint at, you get the hint of a bigger world, but a lot of it just takes place in that high rise, and it gets kind of cramped after a while. And so, as I said, each one has their strengths and weaknesses. I'm not trying to dunk on the 95 version too much, but I think overall as a film, the 2012 version is superior.
See, I like what Dave said about like those long shots, like those faraway shots of Mega City 1 with the towering mega structures.
Yeah.
And whatnot dotted around them. I do like those shots, so I really, really appreciate that. But I love how dingy and dirty and kind of nasty the production design feels in 95. I love, like, and granted, I mean, that's not to take away, and that's not to say that 2012 doesn't look
also, to be
dingy,
fair
but
to like the 95 one and for like the Dredd 3D one, all those panning shots and stuff remind me a lot of District 9. Like when I was watching District 9, I think I've actually watched those movies back to back. I was like, it's kind of like the same thing. This is what dystopia looks like from far away.
Yeah. So let's see. Okay. So costume, Dave.
Oh, geez. So I don't want to keep beating it, but so it's two different things. From the neck down, Stallone. Because I'm wearing a shirt right now. Obviously, the
giant shoulder pads and everything. Yeah,
giant shoulder pads are part of it. I mean, it just comes with the territory. So from neck down there, but neck up, not because Stallone removes his head, but because they had the crisscross pattern on Carl Urban's. So that is the Dredd in the comics. They got the crisscross pattern that goes across it and stuff like that, which Judge Dredd did not have. So it's little column A, little column B.
Man.
And they actually put an Easter egg to 1995's Dredd with the shoulder pads in Mama's penthouse apartment. In the background is a giant gold chain that connects to giant shoulder plates sitting in the background. So they actually put a little bit of a nod, not to Stallone's. They actually made them a little bit different. They just did a nod to the comic book with the giant ones because obviously, Dredd 3D, he was wearing hockey pads.
I would, you know what? I not to say that I love the costumes in 2012. I love that they're almost like kind of riot gear. Like I kind of love that kind of riot gear, like that dirty, used riot gear aesthetic to them. They're almost like, if you think about like, I mean, well, especially we've all seen the set photos and stuff of what Matt Reeves is doing with his Batman costume. It's kind of reminiscent. It's kind of similar.
Very much so,
to that as well, which I really like that. But man, I love that. And let me tell you, it's not even just Stallone that does it in that costume. It's Judge.
No,
Hershey,
everyone
baby.
does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Diane
everyone
Lane
does
in that 95 costume.
Everyone looks great in that. I do like that because if you're going to make someone judge, jury, and executioner, you want it to look like the weight of their decisions are literally being carried on their shoulders, right? You want it to be visually represented there, but you also want them to look regal in a sense. So that's why, like in the 2012 Dredd, from the neck down, it doesn't. It's very tactical and stuff like that. But as far as like guns, though, the gun in the 2012. It's so good. I mean, but I love
rewatching both of them. Not even gonna lie, rewatching both of the movies back to back. I watched 2012 first and then 95. Man, I fucking hate the log ever in the 95 movie. Holy shit, that thing looks cheap and dumb as fuck now. Like, it has not aged well. Like, and I don't even think I've necessarily even really been a fan of it. It's just, it's a cool idea though. And like, and again, I think that's something that's, and you can talk more to that, Dave, is sourced from the comics and whatnot. But I love that idea that you can talk to the gun and like tell it the type of round 100%. You want to fire. That I love. Like, I love that aesthetic. And I think that if you want to talk about, like, I don't know anything about the Judge Dredd comics, but I love that that's an aesthetic that's in both of those movies, because I just love that they're like, yeah, like this type of round, that type of round, this type of round. That's such a cool idea to me. That's so cool. I love
that's like one of my favorite parts in 2012 is when he's like, "Show your hotshot." What'd you say? I said, "Hotshot." fires a flare right into his mouth. I love it because it's like it's subtly paying homage to the fact that, yeah, in the comics they do actually talk to their gun. They do call out the rounds that they're going to be using. And if you ever played like any of the Judge Dredd video games and stuff like that, you can go through your gun and each, like, you'll have like 8 shotgun shells, you'll have like two heat-seeking missiles and stuff like that. And that even goes for the Sega Genesis Judge Dredd video game. I don't know if anyone's ever played that, but it's one of my favorite
that's amazing
nostalgic Sega Genesis games to go back and play.
Oh God, that is absolutely amazing.
And Batman Forever.
you mentioned Mama, so I have to ask you, villain. Who do you
Mama.
like? Who do you
Armand
like more?
Asante. It's always going to be Armand Asante.
Lois, I see
you can't beat that.
See, I think it's one of those. I think it's really difficult to compare because Armand Asante is so deliciously over the top. It's absurd. He is chewing literally every bit of like, you know what? And you talk about the heat between Stallone and the director and everything like that. Armand Asante had a fucking blast making that movie. You could tell and you could see it in his performance. He had the greatest time making that fucking
Armand
movie.
Asante. It's like the difference between like how I put it, like it's the difference between like Jim Carrey's Riddler and Liam Neeson's Ra's al Ghul. You know, like it's apples and oranges because you're getting two different types of villains.
Two entirely different types.
Yeah.
So, all right,
the big shining star, I think, and no one ever agrees with us on it, but in Dredd 3D is Domhnall Gleeson, man. I absolutely love him in that movie.
Oh, yes, the hacker dude, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a small performance, but like when they get into his room and they lock him in, like the way he's able just to convey fear with like a look and stuff like that. And the best part is like you think he's afraid of Dredd, and then you find out he's not. It's not Dredd that he's really afraid of.
Yeah.
You know, it's obviously Maul. So
here's I guess the pièce de résistance. I guess it has to be asked. Dredd himself. Urban or Stallone. Leaving the helmet. Now leave the helmet out of it for a second. I know it's tough to leave the helmet out of it, especially if you're a purist, especially if you love your Dredd as a character, as a comic book character, but just in terms of the character itself. And then, you know, you can obviously make the distinction and choose.
You're asking me to choose between being a Stallone fan and being a Dredd fan is what you're actually asking me to do.
Man. You know what I did, Dave? I pulled your pants down. I put your nuts out on the hot coals, and I'm stoking that fire, baby. It's getting warm.
I'm sorry. I'm going to go with, because as far as Stallone goes, I'll always have that speech that he gave Milo Ventimiglia in Rocky Balboa. So I'll always have him as Rocky Balboa. So I'm going to go with Carl Urban. Love it. I love it. Even the way he pulls his mouth down looks like the original drawings of Judge Dredd. Just the way like he does like that.
Yeah.
Like he does it so perfectly.
Yeah. Loisos, I'm going to guess you're going to agree with Dave there.
Yes. Spectacular frown, the gravelly voice. It's everything you would imagine when you read the Judge Dredd comics. That it's just a better embodiment of the character for me. I love Stallone with every fiber of my being, as I said many times in the past on the show. But I'm going to have to go with, as far as the representation of the character, absolutely, Carl Urban.
You know what would... And I mean, my choice is Stallone, only because I love the 95 movie, and I love him in the 95 movie, and it's just become kind of this so iconic to me. Like, I used to watch the movie when I was a teenager and just quote along with it, like, literally the whole way through. So I've always loved that about it. I like Urban as Dredd. I really, really like him. I love his personality. He's really fucking no nonsense, no matter what the situation is. I love that about him.
That's one of the best parts of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But so I'm going to give the 95 film some shit, guys. I'm going to give it one big hit of shit.
One little bit of shade. What is it?
One thing that the 2012 film does not bring with it in terms of baggage, and that's a comedic fucking sidekick. That's, I think, the only thing. If you somehow excise Rob Schneider from the 1995 Judge Dredd film, like, you think about all the other elements of that film, even though Armand DeSantis,
you can go watch the Phantom edit where Jar Jar Binks doesn't exist.
Boom. Take out Rob
where he
Schneider.
doesn't exist.
I mean,
in
you think
the
about
Phantom
like
Menace,
Armand DeSantis over the top performance. You have Max von Sydow, great performance. You have Stallone, who's really kicking ass. Diane Lane looking sexy as hell in that, Versace armor. And then, you just have all the great production design. Like, I love the bikes, not so much the Lawgiver, but I love the bikes. And then, if you just take him out of it, like the ABC robot, I fucking love that thing.
Oh, that's one of my favorite practical effects.
That thing is so fucking amazing. But Rob Schneider, it's not even the fact that there is a comedic sidekick, but it's the fact that he's so not funny.
No, it's true. It's 100% true. It doesn't work in the movie. And I mean, you can say that it works in the movie in like this Odd Couple type way where it's like he's completely over the top, he's outlandish, it's in complete juxtaposition to the main character. But it would be completely different if Dredd actually played off of him in a complimentary way, but it doesn't. It actually just comes off as grating. Yeah, completely.
It's just the whole film comes off, and the whole film plays as if Stallone is just annoyed with him the whole time. So that translates to us as audience members. It's like Stallone's annoyed with him the whole time, so we're really fucking annoyed with him the whole time.
But also another thing that doesn't work is like, while Rob Schneider is a joke to Dredd is a joke to everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, even Diane Lane kind of treats him as like a dinosaur, and he's stoic and he's a joke and stuff like that. So it doesn't work if both the characters that we follow through 80% of the movie are both played for punchlines in two completely different ways.
It's just...
Diane Lane should have been the sidekick the whole time.
She should have been.
Flat out it.
She should have been. I mean, that's... If you excise Rob Schneider from that movie... It would have been a lot better received, because I think anything like over the topness aside, and I think they knew what they were doing when they went for that a little bit over the top aesthetic. Like, it's got its tongue firmly planted in its cheek. It wants to be just a Stallone action vehicle more than it wants to be a Judge Dredd movie. You're exactly right when you said that earlier, Dave. That's all it wants to be. That's all it cares to be. But
well, John Wagner took his ball and went home and never sold the rights to anybody else ever again for
fucking
any
Rob
reason.
Schneider in the fucking movie, and it just sinks it. It literally just fucking sinks it into the ground. Every time he's on screen, and when I was rewatching it, the other day, like I said, every fucking time he's on screen, literally everything he fucking says is just like, it literally just grinds everything to a halt. It's just like,
It does. Yeah, it truly does. It is the worst part. And one of the other worst parts is the movie kind of starts with him, which like really sets you off.
He's meant to be your audience surrogate.
I think that's Heavenly Haven down there.
He's meant to be your audience surrogate, and you hate him, so you're just like, fuck this. You know
what my favorite Rob Schneider movie is? It's Grown Ups, because they just make fun of him the whole time.
Mine's The Water Boy, because he's reduced to just like a one-line quip.
You can do.
That's it. That's literally it.